Hey guys, and welcome back to another video on LumberCapitalLY. Today we are back in the hardwood room because we've been given the task of pricing all of the slabs that Jade and I single-handedly sometime last week brought from the log yard to our showroom, and it was a lot of work. We actually made a video on it. If you missed that one, make sure you go back and watch it. So this can kind of be a tricky job, right? Because the slabs, I mean, it's not as simple as pulling up a board foot calculator, typing in the dimensions, and there you have your price. Because, you know, it tapers, it's not the same all the way through. So it's not a very straightforward process, and I wanted to go into it a little bit with you here today about our sort of system, right? So without further ado, let's get into it. A lot of times customers come in while we're not here, and so it's going to be helpful for the people coming in so they know the price because it's right on there. Now, as far as the dimensional lumber goes, which you see we have quite a bit of, I'm not going to take the time to price any of this because we actually have the board foot price right there, and customers coming in can just pull up a board foot calculator on their phone and just go ahead and calculate it up on their own. Now, as far as the slabs go, which you see kind of like right here, it's the board foot price is a little bit different for these. Now, why? They are quite a hassle. I mean, it took two people to move all of these pieces, obviously, because of just the sheer size and just all that time and effort put into them. Not to mention, they are absolutely beautiful pieces. It's a little bit more expensive per board foot, but for the customers who might want to stop in, right now it's on sale. So I'm actually going to be kind of going roughly based off of our board foot price, which for instance for cherry is $4.50, but it's going to be a little bit cheaper because it's on sale, especially the cherry here. Some of our slabs are going to be a little bit cheaper right now. So right here, I did a thing. I had this idea where I would see how I did the little stair steps up so that people could see the prices. And I did use marker for that, which I shouldn't have. You're not supposed to use ink. So we have these well, this calls them paint markers, but it's like a chalk. So it's going to work out perfectly. For instance, that's what this, we used on this, and it works pretty good, and it's not gonna damage the wood by any means. Now, part of the problem with pricing this stuff is that it's already stacked. A lot of forethought on that. I know. So we can't really go and price every single piece, but thankfully, like a lot of these, they're the same size and with little to none imperfections. I just remember that from doing all the hard stacking we did earlier on. So I did try and do the stair steps again so we can mark them, but as far as that goes, I mean, we have a lot of walnut out here that we're not going to be getting to some of these bottom pieces. So I'm gonna have to try and come up with a system for pricing them and then just make a little sign and hang it up. Just kind of seeing what works here. It's not an exact art when it comes to this, but oh, whatever. So we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. The boss just stopped by and we had a long conversation about how we want to price all of this stuff, because some of the stuff on the bottom, I mean, unless we want to unstack the pile, which maybe he hoped that we would do, it's just we took a lot of time to put these into the piles that they are, and I don't really think that unstacking them is the best use of our time. So what we're going to do is we're going to try and price as many as we can and then come up with a policy for the customers who do come in so that they know how to calculate some of these pieces. And so what we talked about as far as this pile, these piles in here specifically, this does not go for all the pieces in here, but for all the walnut in this room here, what we're going to do is we're going to just have the customers measure the thinnest width on the board, because part of the thing that is challenging about pricing a slab is that, like I said in the beginning, you know, it's not the same all the way through. One end might be thick, one end might be skinny, and the customer coming in is like, how do I calculate this, right? So we're going to actually go based off of the skinniest part of it for calculating the board foot. So all of this in here is $7 a board foot. So, oh, my measuring tape's on the ground here. But as you can see, it's pretty thick, or not thick, but wide down here. The skinniest part of it is probably more like, probably like right here. Let's just see. So when I calculate the board foot of this, I'm going to call it 14 inches instead of, you know, down there where it's wider. And that will I think be the best policy here. But we are going to actually be, we're going to be pricing as many of these as we can. I did want to show you this crazy piece over here. We have a lot of ones in this pile that have these crazy holes in them. Now, someone might look at this and think, oh, that's just a rotten mess. Another person who is into doing the cool resin, the resin projects that you see online everywhere, that's really in right now, and they're really fun to make. You can get so creative with it. Here's the thing though, there's no manufacturing a hole, right? So part of what the boss was saying just a little bit ago is that this is created by nature, and look at how cool it is. Look at that pattern in there. That's going to be the perfect piece for someone who is into the cool epoxy resin creations. So there's a lot of these in here, and you just have to sort through them. As far as pricing them goes, because they are so unique, they're not actually going to be much cheaper than one, say, without a hole, just because it's just, they're one of a kind. There's no way else to put it. Every single piece in here, they are incredibly unique and individualistic. So let's get to pricing some of these. And I also have to figure out what I'm going to write on my little sign here that I have so that people can best understand everything that I've said here today. So let's get to it. So this might not be the most professional way to do it. I'm sure some people out there are gonna scold me, but I made a little sign. And I think it's pretty clear what we're talking about here. And we have duct tape and cardboard and a Sharpie. Don't make too much fun of me. And we're just gonna hang it up right here. I think it's good enough. What is duct tape not good for? Looking pretty. That's what it's not good for. And you never hear people talking about that. I don't really know how to do this. Oh, I think I'm making it worse. It kind of hurts my soul. It's so ugly. Oh. Jade and I have just been busy calculating up some of these here. This one is a gorgeous piece, and man, is it also a monster. I'm looking at things like, for instance, this right here. And so I subtracted the price off. It would be a $200 piece, but I took 25 off for that little imperfection there. It's actually quite a, it's quite a special piece because it's actually part of the crotch wood, which gets you these patterns that you see in it right here. And it's actually extra hard right there. You can see where the blade kind of struggled to get through it. But it makes for some gorgeous, just some gorgeous whatever you make with it. It's honestly just a very spectacular piece of wood. There's a couple in other ones in here from the same log that have that characteristic to them, but I was kind of sad that the mill actually is what did that. The piece that turns the log is very aggressive, let's just say that, and it can kind of tear up the wood a little bit. So that's too bad, but that's okay. We're just gonna not go too much more into this pile because I mean, to lift this piece back off, I don't know. Oof, I don't want to. I don't want to. This piece right here is $100. It's about the same width, but you know, it's not as thick. So I think our job is just about done here. You know, we ended up putting 2 of these slabs in our showroom here, and I just love this one. The waviness to it is really what I look for in a slab because you really get that live edge look to it. It's my favorite, but slabs is not the only thing we offer here in our store. We have a couple finished cutting boards that we did. I mean, feeling them, it's like silk. We sanded them down so much. I love them. I absolutely love them. But we also have unfinished ones. Oh, that one's a smaller one, but we have a couple over here. So like, say you want something fun to do over the weekend and you're like, hey, sand up a cutting board. We have pre-cut unfinished cutting boards that still need sanded, all different shapes and sizes. We're not asking a lot for them, but they are dry and ready to go. So if you want something real quick and fun to do this weekend or any other weekend, these are ready to go, ready to just be sanded and finished. We have a couple larger ones as well. I love big cutting boards, and we have a couple pieces of walnut that would be perfect for a large cutting board, also smaller ones. We also have a couple merch, our merch box here, which we've been trying to improve along the way here, but we have a couple handmade mugs that we absolutely love, hats, t-shirts in here as well. So a little bit of a destination. It's not warm in here, you guys. It's not warm, but it works for what we need it for. Anyways, that's it for today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't yet. Other than that, we'll see you back here next time. Bye.